platform bracket as possible. Now, when you found an area that looks good, go ahead and take a marker and trace around the outside of the upper mounting bracket to give you a good idea of the position that it's going to need to be in. Alright, let's go ahead and remove the actuator from the tab and then remove the upper mounting bracket off the actuator. We're going to take the upper mounting bracket and hold it up against the boat in the area that we traced out. We're going to trace it a little bit better now that we have more room, and then we're going to want to measure the distance from the top of the hinge to the bottom of the upper mounting bracket to see if we're within that area that we thought we were. Alright, so now we need to check to ensure that the upper mounting bracket location will be good for a deployed actuator also. So what we're going to do is install the upper mounting bracket back on the actuator and go ahead and fully extend the actuator. We're going to install the actuator on the tab. Now this is important to remember the same pinhole that you used to check it in the fully retracted position. Hold it up against the boat just like that, propping it up with your legs, and download the Angle Finder app. Calibrate it to 0 on the transom and hold it up against the tab. In this case, we're right at 12 degrees. Now, there is a variance here. Anywhere between 15 and 9 is acceptable. Anything more than that, if you're having trouble, please give GSA a call. Technical assistance will be more than happy to help walk you through the process. Alright, this next step is really important. I always like to double check myself. So let's fully retract the actuator and check the tab in the deployed position. Go ahead and grab a spacer and hold the actuator in place in the upper mounting bracket in the exact location that you had traced out in the deployed position. And what we're checking for is clearance to make sure that the tab does not come up too high and hit the platform or the platform brackets. In this case, everything looks perfect. And in your case, if everything's good, then you're ready to start drilling the upper mounting bracket. Alright, so let's take the upper mounting bracket off the actuator and hold it up in the area that you've traced. Take a marker and mark all 3 of the outside holes. Do not worry about the center hole at this point. Once you've marked the holes, we're going to go ahead and take a 3/16 drill bit and pretty much go through the same process that we did when we drilled the holes for the hinge. 3/16 in reverse, just make a little mark on each one of the marks that you made in reverse. Now take a 21/64 drill bit in reverse and burn off the remainder of the gel coat around the 3 little marks that you just made previously. Now take your 3/16 drill bit in forward and drill completely through the transom on all 3 holes. I want to go over a couple possible scenarios here. Check to ensure that your upper mounting bracket is not below your false floor. If it is below the false floor, you will not be able to reach the wire if you run it through your upper mounting bracket. So here's what we're going to do. If your upper mounting bracket is not below the floor, then you can just take a 21/64 drill bit and drill straight through the center hole. But this boat just happens to have a false floor right above the line where our upper mounting bracket is mounted, so we will not drill through. So I will show you here in just a little bit on what to do in this situation. Okay, remove the upper mounting bracket and let's go ahead and fill the holes up with silicone. I'm going to go over what you would do if you were able to utilize the center hole in the upper mounting bracket. On this boat we weren't, but I'm going to go ahead and show you anyway. First thing you're going to want to find is the black rubber grommet that came in your upper mounting bracket box. Run the wire through the front of the upper mounting bracket and then slide the black rubber grommet onto your wire. You're going to want to pull all these down, all the way down to the actuator with the cone facing the back of the upper mounting bracket to where it would correspond with the groove that it fits in. Then you're going to want to leave about 3 inches of wire hanging out just like that, so you'll have room to put your screws in. After this, you would just simply run your wire through the transom. On this boat, since there is a false floor, we're going to find an area above the floor and just drill through the transom using a 21/64 drill bit. It always helps if you have somebody in the boat that can help you get a good idea of where you're going to be drilling through. Now once you find the area you're going to be drilling through, as we've already done, I do highly recommend using a 3/8 drill bit in reverse to burn off all the gel coat, to make sure that your 21/64 drill bit does not chip any gel coat as it goes through and forward. Alright, so on this boat, since we're not utilizing the center hole, let's go ahead and secure the upper mounting bracket to the boat by putting 3 screws through the holes that we've already siliconed and tighten them down. Now we need to secure the Linko actuator to the upper mounting bracket by using the 5/16 stainless steel bolt that came in your Linko hardware kit. Run the bolt through. Sometimes it's easier. Take a 1/2 inch bit and run it through, and then secure the lock nut on the back side. Once you get the lock nut secured on the upper mounting bracket, let's mount the Linko actuator to the lower mounting bracket using the same pinhole that we used when we did all our measuring. Now, the 2 black spacers that we pulled out of the Linko supply bag, one long one short one, those spacers will go on each side of the lower mounting bracket pin. They will make sure that the Linko actuator ram stays centered in the lower mounting bracket to not cause any damage. At this point, I want to go ahead and check to make sure that everything is going to clear. Even though I measured twice, I always like to check a 3rd time before I finish this installation. But what I'll do is I'll just take my pins and I'll put them on my battery and raise the tab